Who among you guys doesn't desire to be wealthy? What, however, is the most crucial element in being wealthy? Many people believe that the only way to become wealthy is through business and that someone who earns a salary or regular income cannot do so. However, this isn't true. According to statistics and actual observations, the salaried class is home to a large number of millionaires. They say it took them 20 to 25 years to accumulate their wealth. But how do they do it? Because they have sound money management. They were used to saving money, making regular investments, doing research, and placing their money in the appropriate investments. However, many personal financial gurus advise reserving half of our salaries for savings and investments when we first start our careers. Even paying your expenses out of your earnings is insufficient. So how can I execute that? Here's how. Hello everyone, welcome to Finance Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about saving rule 50-30-20, managing your money. If you're new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. You can absolutely become a millionaire if you start saving and investing when you're 21 or 22. If your corpus is large enough to pay you interest equal to your salary in 25 to 30 years, you may be able to retire 10 years before the person who begins saving 10 years later. As a result, maintaining discipline is crucial. The structure should now be somewhat different for young and experienced workers. Both cannot be subject to the same restriction. Let's examine the framework that is appropriate for children in light of this. How much should experienced people save and how much can they spend on necessities rather than wants and desires? If you're just starting out in your career, you should follow this simple rule about money, which is called Saving Rule 50-30-20. Let me now clarify what that implies. Your basic needs can be met with half of your monthly salary. What are considered basic necessities now? EMIs or rent? You might also take into account the rent for the home where you now reside. You might also take into account the EMI if you borrowed money to purchase the property. In this case, you might invest in real estate without taking the EMI into account. So, just take into account the EMI for the home you now resides in. Other than that, it goes without saying that you have basic necessities like food, transportation, and clothing. In contemporary times, other fundamental requirements have been added to the list of essentials, which now includes food, clothing, and shelter, which include telephones to internet, water, gas, and electricity. These are all modern necessities, so I'm not asking you to remain. You should choose your own fundamentals. I have to spend money on them since they are my very minimal needs. But make an effort to keep your spending on necessities under control. As a general rule, you should spend no more than 50% of your monthly income on necessities. Consider this as an example. Nowadays, the starting salary is often between $5,000 and $5,700. Let's suppose your initial salary is $5,700. You may thus spend $2,850 each month, or 50% of $5,700 on your essential needs. Let's discuss desires after this. Needs and desires are not the same thing. Your desires are just that, wishes, and not essential needs. For instance, if a vehicle is not a fundamental requirement for you, you may commute or go to work using public transportation while vacationing and shopping for expensive clothing. I classify clothing as a fundamental need, but if you want to purchase pricey, branded clothing, that will be considered a desire. Electronic devices, there is nothing wrong with wanting to purchase a pricey phone, provided you keep it within your means or put aside money for it. Then you may purchase it. The wants category includes a phone, a top-of-the-line laptop, and a home entertainment system. You may only spend up to 30% of your monthly revenue. Therefore, 30% of $5,700 is $1,710 every month. This implies you have the option to spend $20,520 a year on it however you see fit. Following that, you should unquestionably reserve 20% of your income for savings and investing. Now, why do we make investments and save? As you can see, retirement is a really underutilized area since so many individuals now work in the private sector and even in public employment. The government is eliminating pension plans. Planning for retirement is crucial. Children's education, marriage, emergency, cash you wish to save for the future, and emergency medical funds. For all of these reasons, it is crucial to begin saving and investing as soon as possible. Because of this, I assert that you must undoubtedly meet your fundamental necessities and some of your goals when you begin your work. Because young people want to have fancy phones and fashionable outfits, so although you may certainly spend some money here, at least set aside 20% for investments and savings. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to discuss the saving rule 50-30-20. What savings are there now? You may choose to start a standard FD, invest in equities, mutual funds, real estate, or open a provident funds account. There are thus many possibilities, but discipline is crucial. According to this example, you should set aside at least $1,140 out of $5,700 for savings and investing. So that's all there is to it for those just starting out in their professions. But as you gain experience, your revenue rises, obviously, depending on whether you have 4 to 5 or 8 to 10 years of expertise. Your pay will vary, so after some time, let's look at an example. I'm using a modest, not a large, example. Say your income has increased by double. Even if we are aware that income has increased by a factor of 2 or even 4 in the last 10 years, we're assuming that your monthly income has climbed to $11,400. What should you do now then? Should you raise your spending by the same percentage? No. I'll explain. The Saving Rule 50-30-20 guideline is fairly well liked, but in my opinion, you should raise the percentage of savings and investments as your income rises. Your desires shouldn't expand in proportion to your needs. Therefore, in my opinion, you should raise this to 40%, here decrease this to 20% in lieu of 30%, and here add the remaining 40%. Please pay attention since I'm moving backward. Replaced it with 40%, and for now, my attention is primarily focused on investing and saving. Open an account and send 30% of your income for savings and investing as soon as you get your salary or other source of money. After that, when you'll only have a limited amount of money left, you'll spend it on your necessities and desires. Let's now discuss this illustration. If we subtract 40% from $11,400, it leaves us with $4,460. Now, $4,560 would also be plenty if you were able to handle this area for less than $4,000. Your quality of life will really increase. If we calculate 20% of $11,400, it is $2,280. You used to get $20,520 a year for your wishes, but now you'll receive $27,360. However, if you raise your assets and savings, we get $41,040. You'll considerably boost your yearly savings and investments. All of your future goals, such as retirement, education, marriage, and medical emergencies, could occur at any time and in any quantity. Therefore, you want to continue living the way you do even when your regular income is lost. The reason this percentage has to be raised is because you will need to continue to support your lifestyle after that. So far, it's been shown that the 50-30-20 rule is effective at the start of a career. But as experience grows, you may switch to the 40-20-40 rule. You won't have any issues managing your finances, assets, retirement plans, children's marriages, or schooling. I believe you now understand this idea, but the most crucial step is to begin saving and investing. There is no hard and fast rule that says you must have 20% or 30% to invest and not before that. You may start with 10%. You'll learn to like it if you establish discipline in the beginning. You will get smarter and better at what you do, and you will be able to save up a lot of money before you retire. We've reached the end of another video, and thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something about the saving rule 50-30-20. If you like this video, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Thank you and goodbye.